The situation in the Middle East continues to escalate. US ships have come under Iranian fire just moments ago. We're going to talk about that in today's video because this is going to impact the oil price because that is going up. The stock market's looking a little bit wobbly. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the latest of this Iran, USA, Middle East, Persian conflict. And then also in this video, we're gonna have some fun because we're gonna be talking about robots as well, because I've seen some crazy tech come out. I wanna talk about this, and this is giving us an indication of who's gonna be the leader of the world. We're gonna break all this down, plus a crazy new piece of tech that has been unleashed as well. So this is not fake. This is real. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. Some fun stuff as well. If you guys enjoy it, just like the video. Let's get straight into it. So look, the Middle East situation right now, it's escalating. There are missiles and drones, but just to give a fair assessment of it, it's not catastrophic yet. So there are a couple of attacks. We have seen warning strikes against US ships. Potentially they were targeted attacks right here. So according to CBS right here, both destroyers transited while being targeted by Iranian drones, missiles, and small fast attack craft during the transit. They were supported by Apache helicopters and other aircraft throughout the barrage of Iranian attacks. Additionally, per the report, no projectiles struck the ships during the engagement. So look, it seems to me at the moment, it's like the Iranians and the Americans, it's almost like two dogs in the Persian Gulf at the moment, just barking at each other. So they haven't really done like an actual, damaging blow just yet, but it is getting, tense. That's the situation. The Gulf countries, on the other hand, you can't say the same thing because I believe the UAE has shut down some of its aircraft temporarily, and there was actually some hits against some oil facilities in the UAE. So things are definitely, they're increasing, right? The Brent oil price spiked yesterday. It did come down a little bit, but that was potentially near a record high right there. So you can see right here, previously March the 10th, it got up to this level once again right here on the 18th. And right here, we're at a critical level. So there is a risk, again, the longer this kind of goes on, this could just blow open and this could go really high. And actually, we do have an update from a CEO right here. Let's actually listen into this because this guy has a very good insight. It's the Chevron CEO. So let's listen into what he has to say about the oil situation.
20% of the world's energy supply flows through the Strait of Hormuz. That's oil, that's liquefied natural gas, it's refined products, goes to Europe and Asia primarily. And both of those regions are seeing the impact of having that much cut off. The U.S. can't make up all of that supply. Inventories in the system are being drawn down, and the supply situation is tightening, and that's a concern.
Is the U.S. heading towards a situation where consumers are going to see the same sort of prices that we're starting to see in Asia?
Yeah, I think the real thing is the U.S. is not going to see supply outages. We're starting to see risks of supply outages in some of these economies. In Europe, you're seeing flights canceled and schedules reoptimized because jet fuel is getting very, very tight in Europe. We've seen a number of economies in Asia that have instituted policies to reduce demand because they're concerned about running out of supply. Countries like Australia that have shut down most of their refining capacity and are heavily dependent upon imports are taking measures to address that. So I think the U.S. is going to see the price pressures. It's a global market. These prices are set in global commodity markets, but the risk of supply outages in other parts of the world is much higher than it is here in the U.S.
So the key takeaway is if you're in the US, there won't be supply shortages according to the Chevron CEO, but you're probably going to see price increases. If you're anywhere else in the world, Australia, Europe, UK, there's a higher risk of actual supply outages right now. And again, every single day, this thing drags on. And right now it's pretty bad because apparently there has been 0 ships once again crossing the Strait of Hormuz. And this is like 20% of, energy trade in the world. So I can't believe this is going to be very good. And look, Trump has upped his threats as well. And he has went on to say right here, Iran has taken some shots at unrelated nations with respect to the ship movement, Project Freedom, including a South Korean cargo ship. Perhaps it's time for the South Koreans to come and join the mission. We've shot down 7 small boats, or as they like to call them, fast boats. It's all they have left. Other than the South Korean ship, there has there has been, at this moment, no damage going through the strait. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and Chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Kane will have a news conference tomorrow. Thank you for your attention on this matter. That's according to President Trump. So apparently the US has actually shot some ships. So 7 little boats, apparently, according to Trump, if that is true. And look, it seems to be a tense situation, but I would say it hasn't fully blown up. But again, if this is correct, there barely seems to be any real traffic going through here. So the economic damage, it's at a maximum all-time high right now. 0 ships, that's a maximum, no blood flow kind of, no oxygen going to the brain if the global economy is the brain in this situation. So that is not looking good. And we're just going to have to, keep our eyes peeled for this. And we have seen some spike up in oil. And it just depends on what Trump's going to do next. And does this thing really just go into open warfare once again? But again, it is looking pretty dire. Now, having said that, with the Iran situation, let's talk some robots on the channel, because this is the future, I think, anyway. And have a look at this. Actually, do that one last. But this is coming out of China, and China is starting to deploy police robots right here to manage traffic. And I know this is starting off as just a little bit of a meme. It doesn't seem like it's all that. You could probably just have a traffic light for this. It might just be for show, but the tech is there. It's kind of getting better, and it's getting better. And I think you're going to see more widespread use of this. But not only that, in Japan, they've actually started to deploy and test robots into baggage handling. And we're going to contrast this to actually Spirit Airlines, because I saw a funny video get released. But check this out. So this is coming out of Tokyo in Japan. And they are deploying robots. These are Chinese robots to help with baggage handling, right? So this is where kind of the tech is going. So these countries that can, manufacture these, buy these, utilize these, there's going to be advantages over, typical employees that you might see in other in roles right here. And it's going to be interesting because they might have, superhuman strength. And it is a very, very interesting field. And this is coming off the back end. And I saw this get posted by Rodney over on X. If you guys haven't heard the news, Spirit Airlines in America has went bust. And and Rodney right here says, end of an era. Here's some of your greatest hits, RIP Spirit Airlines. And, what I want you guys to think about is, could a robot do some of these roles a bit better than what we're going to see out of Spirit? And Spirit is no longer with us anymore. It's went to the spirit realm in terms of a company. But these were some of the highlights, and it's got 10 million views over on X. So let's play this.
Fuck out of here, you dirty bitch. Yes, you are.
But you guys get the picture right there. So the AI revolution, it might be peaceful in some regards, dealing with robots versus, humans. In some situations, it might be more peaceful to have a robot handle your luggage, and maybe it'll come in a little bit safer and, less damage right there. But I thought that was interesting. And I did see this as well. So if you have a spare $880,000, so if you want to sell your gold and silver or whatever's in your portfolio right now, you could get your hands on one of these. And if you see this, yes, yesterday was, I think it was May the 4th day, so Star Wars fans out there. And this is it's like that bike from Star Wars. It's like a land speeder or something, or Land Cruiser. But it actually is a real flying bike that apparently the prototype can go up to 162 miles per hour. And people will be able to buy it, I think, this year. But it is expensive. And it actually uses miniature jet engines right here for transport. But this is just showing you like the upper ends of tech. So this stuff will get cheaper in the future. Robots will get cheaper. And I think those economies that can actually build, utilize, scale them, deploy them, they're going to have a serious mass advantage. Because even if you analyze, the Russia-Ukraine conflict at the moment, even the conflicts in the Middle East, drones and robots are becoming more and more important almost like every day. So those countries that get on the cutting edge of this, they're going to be way ahead, and that's going to give them a competitive advantage to enforce their will on the world right there. But that is a cool piece of tech. And $880,000 to get your hands on one of them. But it is pretty cool. You can role play as a stormship trooper and fly around and impress your neighbors. And if we jump over to the financial markets today, look, the prices are going to be looking rocky, right? So oil is going to be going up. We've seen this effect happen before on the channel. We've analyzed it. So anytime the world is getting a little bit sick, right? The Strait of Hormuz, everyone's getting seasick from all this, conflict and, things heating up right here. What tends to happen is the silver and gold price, unfortunately, it doesn't actually go up, it goes down. So you can actually see right here, just with the tension spiking recently, silver dropping down to $72. We bring up the TA on this and we kind of just zoom it out. Let's just do the daily, see if we can pull up any support levels. I would say it's actually at a pretty important support level right now. So you can see previously lots of support coming in right here. So you don't really want to lose the $70 level for silver. But again, it could be an opportunity. If there is a lot of fear, lots of panic, things go bad, maybe that's an opportunity to look for value plays, discount plays right there. And same deal with gold as well. So gold's sitting at a very relatively important level, but again, lots of support as well down at 4,300 for gold. Had a very nice bounce, and previously it bounced super hard at 4,100. And if we have a look at the other metals, copper holding on pretty decent. And what's actually interesting is this Bitcoin crypto completely kind of depegging and doing its own thing in the market. So it's barely even retracing. It's actually going up. So it not even listening to the noise of the market. And that's something, to be expected to some degree. Sometimes crypto does this. So it actually just uncorrelates and it just has its own little party, and it's up to like $81,000 Bitcoin, which is also good to see right there. And look, the S&P 500, relatively steady, but looking at a stationary all-time high right there. And DXY, up slightly in the short term as well. So mixed day. Let's just see how this plays out, whether this does actually escalate or not. But at the moment, it's a pretty tense situation. And yeah, that's your update for today, guys. If you enjoyed it, like the video, appreciate you guys tuning in. Go have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.